Intentional Success Tribe. So let me tell you a little bit about that. So the Intentional Success Tribe is a place where small business owners and entrepreneurs gather to connect with one another and build community.
Good morning, Facebook. I am excited for us to all be here today. We are getting ready to jump into morning motivation. Jasmine is over on Clubhouse. Um, doing the introduction. We are going to do what we did last week just because Jasmine is still traveling. And so we're going to have to do the hold the speaker up to the microphone again today. So I'm going to go ahead and hold her up to the microphone and let's get this started. We're going to be talking about something amazing as we jump into the new year of 2022 and welcome into 2022. So here we go.
Main speaker, the amazing, phenomenal Alicia Richardson. She is all about three things, you all. So she's about that love yourself, love your family, and love your life. She's all about encouraging Christian busy moms to step outside of the box and into pursuing their passion. So I want to introduce to some and reintroduce to others the amazing, phenomenal Alicia Richardson. And let me go ahead and do a quick shout out for myself. So if you don't know, now you know. My name is Jasmine Porter, and I go by two amazing titles, and that is literally, I have many, but the two that resonate the most is Gift from God and Godpreneur. I am all about literally boldly living in purpose, on purpose, intentionally, because I am a gift from God, and so are you. So with that being said, I help new and established professionals and entrepreneurs build sustaining blueprints that lead to intentional expansion, all by prioritizing radical holistic healing. So with that being said, for the some that know and some that don't know, my name is Jasmine Porter and I love to connect with you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Alicia so she can kick us off for Hey Sis, Show Up For You.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. So, like Jasmine said, we are streaming from a few platforms. So, one is Facebook, the other is YouTube, and also on Clubhouse. So, we got a lot of stuff going on, and plus with Jasmine traveling. So, for people on Facebook, you can't see Jasmine, but you're going to be able to hear her just because we are going to I will be holding the phone up to the microphone so that you guys can hear. But let's go ahead and jump into the topic, right? So, we are in 2022. We are really pushing into this new year. And so the description that I put on Facebook is it's a new year. Will it be a new you? And so what we're going to do is we're going to motivate you to actually stick to your goals and stick to your resolutions for this year. And so for today, for Monday, we're going to give some practical steps on how to do that and then throughout the week, we're going to add on to going deeper into actually keeping up with what we have said we wanted to achieve for the entire year. All right. So let's see comments. All right. So we have comments on. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, so welcome, Cherries. Thank you for joining us today. All right, so the first thing, when it comes to making these goals and actions, and I'm sure like all these goals, first of all, when we set goals and we set these resolutions, they're coming from a place of wanting to improve on something. It's something that we may not have liked, or something that is like, man, you know, I really want to change what this is. Okay. So first of all, what I want you to do is get that in your mind. If you got to write it down, write it down. But whatever it is, get it in your mind right now. And for right now, let's pick one thing. Let's pick one thing because some of us might have multiple. So let's pick one thing that we want to shift in 2022. All right. And so the first talking point is going to be, why do you want to change that? What is that reason for you? So if it's losing weight, why do you want to lose weight? Is it because you don't feel comfortable with your appearance? Is it because you want to get healthier? Is it because, you just want to, I don't know, whatever. I don't think that I think it's like lose weight, your appearance, whatever. Right. So what about, is it one of your resolutions? I want to start a business. Why do you want to start a business? Do you need the extra income? Do you want to help people or make an impact? What's the reason for why you want to achieve this goal or this resolution. Okay. So I'm going to start off with me. I want to get healthier. This is one of my resolutions. I was on a call. I was in a clubhouse room, and I was talking with this young lady. Her name's Lori. We had a great connection, and she was telling me how she was doing like the paleo diet and how it changed her life. Now, for the past couple of years, I kept saying I wanted to get healthy, but it's like I would start, but then I wouldn't like follow through with it, just because the call of the unhealthy food was stronger than the call of the want or the desire for me to actually get healthy, right? And so what I've done is I sat down with my husband and my son, my oldest son, and I said, okay, guys, I want to make this change, but I also want this to be a change for the entire household. I know for me, if there's any unhealthy food in the house, I'm not going to make it. So I'm like, are y'all going to be on this journey with me? Right. And so they said yes. So we went through all the different types of diets, like, okay, keto, vegetarian, vegan, paleo, pescatarian. So we went and sat down. We talked about all of these, which ones would be best to fit all of us, right? And so we chose paleo. So from our grocery list, that we took an action to actually only order things from the paleo, right? So that is mine, right? That's mine. And my why is just because I need it to be healthy. My body is not responding the way I needed to respond, and I'm getting older. Like, I know I look young, but I'm getting older, right? And so I have to do better with making sure that I'm around for my boys and actually around to just live the life that I want to live. So I want to pass it over to Jasmine. Jasmine, what is something that you are striving to for 2022, and why?
Listen, I was trying to think of that before you passed the mic to me. So I guess I have a lot of things that I am actually focusing on for 2022, but the one that comes to the top of my head, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I would say it would be one. I am in the process of, I said I wanted a different environment. So I literally came to Atlanta for a retreat. That retreat ended on the 1st. And I made the decision to stay in Atlanta. So now I am literally making sure that I shift and literally put the resources out or plan out what is it that I have to do next to ensure that I have a good stay. What is it that I have to do next to make sure that I'm in place, that I'm in a safe environment in Atlanta, since I made the decision to transition on a whim. So that is one of the things that I am literally doing, is making sure I'm in an environment where I can be stretched and grow. So with me transitioning to Atlanta, it's not only a new experience, but a new adventure. So that gives me a chance to stretch outside of my normal comfort zone. So I love what you were saying, though. So like, one of the biggest things when it comes down to setting goals, is the idea that make sure your goal is centered on you. It's something that you want to do. So like, even the idea of, I want to be healthy, I want to lose weight. Make sure that your goal isn't centered on like somebody else's feedback, or like make sure it's not centered on someone else's feedback of you, or the representation of, or the narrative that someone else has given you. So when I made the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to transition to Atlanta, I made sure, one, it was a conversation me and God had, but it was no one else there to be like, well, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you should do this, you should do that. So I made sure that with anything, that my main goal and every goal that I have for this entire year is centered on Jasmine's desires and not the desires of other people for me. So with that being said, like, as you're in 2022, like, we always talk about get familiar with yourself. We talk about making sure that you know yourself, and you writing down what is it that you want out of your life, prioritizing your life first. So make sure that all of your goals are centered around that. So asking that question, why do I want this? Why do I have to do this, is imperative, because if you say I want to lose weight, but you only want to lose weight because someone called you ugly, like, you 9 times out of 10 not gonna be consistent with that. You're gonna be in turmoil because of trying to fulfill someone else's thing. And the thing is, if you do accomplish the goal, because some people do use other people's narrative as their motivation, like once you accomplish the goal, it's not going to make you feel happy. It's not going to make you feel satisfied. It's only going to be a band-aid on covering up a deeper wound than I'm sorry, yeah. So listen, this morning has been a very interesting day. Whereas, like, I've been like a little bit under the weather, but then the lights just turned out, so that was just funny. But anyways, so like, I want to just make sure that you all like literally make sure your goal is centered on you. I'm passing the mic back to Alicia.
Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, so I like that you said that, right? The reason why I like that you said that is because that is one of the like the biggest reasons, like when we set our why, like we have to make sure that it comes from a pure place, right? We have to make sure, like what you said, Jasmine, that it's not contingent on the feelings of someone else or the motivation of someone else. And a lot of the times, like when we set a goal, it's because we need to prove someone wrong, or we need to try to get one up on somebody, right? So it's not from a pure place. So I like that you brought that up, because setting when we set our why must always be bigger than the feeling of being in the place of where we are now, bigger than the feeling of being scared to move forward, and definitely bigger than the reasons of others who might hold us back, or whatever that is, whatever those negative thoughts might be. It has to be bigger than that. All right. And so really quick, I want to reset the room. Today we are in the Intentional Success Tribe, listening to Hey Sis, Show Up For You. What we are going to talk about today is making the shift into 2022. But this week, we're not just going to talk about goals, but we're going to actually give you guys some actual practical steps on how to make sure that you stay consistent in going after your goals and going after your resolutions, whatever word you want to use. In other words, like, we're not going to dream about having what we want. We're going to push for it, and we're going to jump into the process of making it happen. Okay. And so today, like I said, we're going to just stick to the practical steps of going after these goals and resolutions. And so the next thing, which is a very, 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 very practical step, is using the use of our alarms and calendars. Now we're going to invite people up to the stage here in a little bit, but so you can tell us some tools that you might use that will help you stay the course for the year. But I just want to I want to say alarms and calendars. And the reason these are important is because when you have something set in stone, right, you're holding yourself accountable to your goal and to your resolution. So for me, eating healthy, creating these meal plans. So we have this app. It's called Meal Lime. MEALLIME. And what that does is it allows me to set the meals for our family. Well, my husband cooks. A lot of people say I'm lucky, but my husband cooks and he does the grocery shopping. So Meal Lime. And so what he does is as a family, we go through, we pick our meals for the week, but then we plan out how we will eat them throughout the week. And then as well as with our lunch, we're intentional about our lunch as well as our breakfast, right? So with me doing this paleo, it's very important that when I get into a mood of wanting to my thing is M&Ms, chips and dip, and cappuccino. So when I get into the mood of wanting those things, don't forget the chocolate. Boy, if you don't get out of here, my son just threw me off. All right, so when I get into the mood of wanting those things or craving those things, if I have something set in place, I can create a foundation, or I can create this system to keep myself in order to stay focused, right? So whatever goal that you have set, figure out a way or get a tool that's going to help you stay focused and to keep your vision in front of you. So for, I know a lot of you like maybe placing it on the wall, whatever that goal is, like putting it up on the wall, like a vision board or something like that. So think about what tool will be most helpful for you. So Jasmine, with you making this shift to, first of all, your shift is huge because you literally went from one part of the world to another part of the world, and you are making life happen where you are right now. I'm not, did you give your why? So if you could rephrase your why and then tell us what are some practical tools you are using in order to stay the course for why you are doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So my why is I wanted to live my best life. I want to live life in purpose, on purpose, intentionally. So with that, for me, I've always wanted to travel, and I said I wanted to maybe, what was that? And October. I've been saying for a while, like I want to go to Atlanta. I want to go to Atlanta. I want to go to Virginia. I've been dropping places that I want to go to. So because of that, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could spend some time living in different areas so I can see where it is that I want to plant base and be stable at. So for me, that was my main why. Is I wanted to travel this year, and then I also got connected to spiritual family in Atlanta, and I was like, I want to meet them. I'm going to meet them. So this weekend we had the Millionaires Retreat, where we got to sit at the table with multiple millionaires. We got to sit at the table to hear their stories, hear how they produce wealth, hear their mindset shifts and things like that. So it was a very pivotal moment for me to not only sit with millionaires, multimillionaires at a table, but to be able to have access to not only pick their brains, but then for them to breathe, not necessarily breathe life, but to affirm where I'm going and the direction I'm going in my business. So that was my why. Was I want better for myself. So that's it. So practical steps for me. I see. I love calendars and stuff, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the best with it. I used to be very strict with my calendar, and this year I'm going to like produce that habit again. But my main thing that helps me keep focus and for 2022 is I wrote down my life vision. So I wrote down my life vision. I wrote down like a list of desires that I want for 2022. And if it's not if it's not pertaining to any of those things, then I'm not allowed to do it. And I have to be disciplined to say, no, this is something I'm not moving on because it's not aligned with where I'm going. It's not aligned with what I said I was doing, and it's not aligned with my life vision. So for me, one of the things that I know for sure is like one of my life vision is to create complete and total healing programs for the spirit, soul, and body. That's something I love researching. It's something I love talking on. It's something I have literally been building for the last since I was in college. And so for me, I have now put myself in a position where I'm going to make sure that I focus on this is what, if it's not going along with this vision, I cannot invest my time into it because for me, a lot of times when I had, been saying like, I've had this vision for years, but I have not been acting on it because I would have other people pulling me in directions. I would choose to go in those directions because I was chasing money, I was chasing this, I was chasing that, but I wasn't necessarily living in purpose. I was worried about, for me, survival mode. I was worried about making sure that I can survive. So now this year, with the many things that have happened in my life, I have said, you know what, I no longer want to live in survival mode. I want to live in purpose. So if it's not on this paper, then I'm not doing it. And it takes a lot. So like that takes a lot of discipline too, because that means you have to know what's on the paper. You have to know what your vision is. You have to know what you're willing and not willing to do, and remember that and stand fast on it. Because for me, there's been opportunities even now as we came into the new year to do other things, and I'm like, is this really aligned with the vision that I have for my life? And if it's not, then I'm not doing it. So that's my main thing that I'm doing right now. I'm also like literally a part of being in a think tank for the Millionaires Retreat this weekend was blocking out, taking that life vision and breaking it down to a 5-year goal, a 1-year goal for 2022, and then breaking it down to what can I do monthly, weekly, and daily. So now I still have to sit out and write how I'm going to now pursue this actively and make sure that I'm obtaining it in the best way possible. So this is Jasmine Porter, and I am going to pass the mic to Alicia.
Okay, Jasmine, that was really good, right? Creating that focus and having that focus in front of you, and making sure that you are aligned to what you said you were going to do, right? And not veering off from the path. Now, it's okay to make shifts and pivots during the path, because there are times where what we think might happen, what we want to happen may not happen. So we have to make shifts, right? So that was really good. Now, I want to get into, this is my favorite part. This next part that we're going to get into is building your support team. I want to say building the right support team. So when it comes to like these goals, I told you guys, like me getting healthy, I've tried this over and over and over again, but it's like, man, the junk food calls me. I am a sweets fanatic. So, but having the right support team is going to be helpful. And what do I mean by the right support team? All right. So the first point that I want to point out is it people that you can trust? Like, are these people you can trust? And the reason I say people that you can trust is because they're going to have to give you some hard wisdom. They're going to have to tell you when you're wrong. They're going to have to tell you, hey, Alicia, you're not sticking to what you said. And if you don't trust that person, then you're not going to be open to hearing what they have to say, right? The next thing is having people who care about what you are doing, where you are trying to go in your life, and not just like, whatever, I heard what you said, but whatever, right? So the support team that I have, right, is made up of um Lord, my husband, my best friend, and her husband, right? So what we do is we come and we sit down in a circle every month. We have these meetings, and we talk about the things that we want to accomplish. It's really me and my best friend talking about the things we want to accomplish, and we drag our husbands into the conversation. However, they still give great insight, but they still also hold us accountable for the things that we want to do. So now that I've put it out there that I'm trying to be healthy, she already brought up a couple of things of what kept me back from before, right? So these are people who are actually paying attention to your life. These are people who, like I said, they care, right? So with her actually like saying, okay, Alicia, the last time you said this, we done been around this block a couple of times. The last time you said this is what you did. So if I can't trust her, if I don't feel like I can hear her, then that's automatic. Like I'm not going to make it, right? Because I don't have the right people around me. Okay. So um building that right support team is going to cause you to, not number one, be accountable, but number two, is going to cause you to actually say, okay, not only do I not want to let myself down, I don't want to let them down. And for me, I am competitive, so I'm like, no, I'm proving them wrong. Like, I'm going to make it. You know what I mean? So they have to matter enough that you're not going to say, you know what, I really don't care about this. It's my life. I can do what I want to do with it. And if I want to eat a cupcake, I can eat a cupcake, right? So they have to matter enough to you that you don't want to let them down also. And it's not to say that you're doing this for them, but it's to say that you're holding yourself accountable because you've already let them know that you want to push towards something. So their hard work and believing for you and praying for you and supporting you, that you don't want to let them down, let their hard work down of how they've been there for you, right? um so really quickly, I want to honor Miss Deanna, who is on the stage. She is the owner of the Intentional Success Tribe. She is the one who has actually connected me and Jasmine and allowing us to be able to do this show. She makes intentional connections, and her collaboration container is bar none the best I have ever been in. When she says something, she means it. And so I'm gonna flash your mic, Deanna, if you have something to add or share. There we go. So I'm gonna pass the mic over to you, Miss Deanna.
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, y'all. I just wanted to say good morning and again give flowers to Alicia and Jasmine for continuing to be so diligent and consistent and so intentional about this room, because everything that we do in the Intentional Success Tribe is with intention. Also want to give a special shout out to our VIPs in the audience. Hey, Nat. Hey, Echo. And Sharice and Deja, we're so glad that you're here, as well as Omar and Glinda. I am excited to be able to just listen in on this conversation and encourage y'all when the time comes. Go ahead and raise your hand because we want to hear from you. We know this is a new year. And remember, it doesn't have to be new year, new you, right? But we here now. So at the end of the day, we want to be able to set intention with what we're doing. And if one of your intentions for this year is to become more visible, if one of your intentions for this year is to be able to collaborate with intention, if one of your intentions for this year is to build intentional community, then definitely continue to come into these rooms because Jasmine and Alicia are just bar none the best. They're amazing coaches. They're amazing people. And I'm so glad that they are part of my tribe. So that is all that I wanted to say. I'm excited to continue to listen in. And I'm excited to be able to hear from some of the folks in the listening lounge when that time comes. I'm passing back to you, Alicia.
Thank you, Deanna. Okay, so like Deanna said, there's going to come a time where we're going to ask you guys to come up on stage. And when that happens, I really do want you guys to share what your goals are. I am a person that if you tell me your goal, I'm going to I'm going to follow up with you and see, like, how are you doing and things like that. So I really want you to share those goals and also share your why. But before we do that, Jasmine, I want to bring it over to you when it comes to the support team. Like, what does that mean to you, and how important is it for you as you go on your journey to have the support of those that you care about to help push you through to your goals and or resolution?
Yes. So for me, I'm really big on the support team. I haven't always been, but especially in the last couple of years, my mindset has really shifted when it comes down to building out a network that supports me in multiple aspects. So I will say I do have my family network as far as being able to talk to certain family members about my business ideas or things of expansion or books that I've dreamed about and things like that. But I also have my spiritual family when it comes down to really having them uplift me and expand me in my mindset and my thoughts, because one of the biggest things that I feel like I used to struggle with is I would have these big audacious goals. Like, if you've ever seen my first vision statement for my business, it was I had wrote it out as if it was a 10-year trajectory of how much it would make, how to break it down and things of that sort. So when it came down to really focusing out on that, having my spiritual family present and literally affirming me was a big thing for me, because when I would come across other people, they'd be like, this is too big, you're dreaming too big, you need to dim this down, you need to do that. So being around people that have that idea of dream bigger and don't kill your dream because other people can't see it was a big component for me. So it's important that you have multiple silos, even for the Intentional Success Tribe. I love the Intentional Success Tribe because they give me strategy. Not only does the tribe give me strategy, but they help me be intentional about not only my connections, but be intentional about setting goals and executing. So one of the things Deanna, Natalie, and them, they always talk about is you have to act, you have to act, you have to act. And for me, that's been something that I have not really been keen to. I've always been one of those people that like to sit in the back. If you tell me to speak, if you put me in a group, okay, my leadership skills are going to show up. If you put me in a space, yeah, my leadership skills will show up. I'll blow the house down. But most of the time, because of like different things I've dealt with, I've always chosen to sit in the back. So being in the intentional success tribe for me was even a big component, because it forced me to say, you need to act, and you need to act now. So like, even with being in the tribe, I've set goals for this year, but business wise, because I've shifted so much, it's like I haven't set anything to act on. But the one thing in my head, because I'm connected to this tribe, is okay, I need to have something that I'm acting on this week. I need to have something that I'm acting on continuously moving forward. So when it comes down to your tribes, you need to make sure you have multiple groups of people that speak life into you in different areas. So whether that's having your tribe that speaks life into you when it comes to your health, have that tribe. When it comes down to having someone that's going to speak life into you in your business, have that tribe. When it comes down to even just friendships, like me and Alicia, I can call Alicia at any moment and be like, sis, I don't know what God doing, but this, I'm going to need to pray. I need you to pray for me too.
But that's before 8:30. Anytime after that is a text now.
Whatever. But yeah, like literally, that's something that has been a big key component, is make sure you have those people that you can call on when times are hard. And the thing is, you have to know that person and what they are able to carry. No, you can't just. The thing is, a lot of times in the past, for me, and a lot, like I see it now, other people, is they'll pick one or two people and they'll put all the weight on them. And it's like, it's not fair. It's not fair to that person. It's not fair to like, if that person is putting all the weight on you, it's not fair to you either, because then it's like you're having to be their savior and having to carry their cross with them. And it's like, you want to make sure that you have the right people at the right place, because not everybody can speak into your health. Not everybody can speak into your business. Not everybody can speak into like your life goals and your life vision. Some people, like many times in my life, I had to understand there were certain people I could allow in and certain people I had to keep far. And it wasn't because, oh, I don't love them or anything like that, but you have to be intentional, or like very precise about the energy you're willing to allow into your vision, the energy you're willing to allow into your life, because something you might have think you have the greatest person in that place to uplift you and be a part of your support system, and they're killing your dream. So like, you have to be intentional about understanding what the role of that network, the role of that tribe, the role of that person that is in your life, so that you can make sure that they're always propelling you forward and that you're not dying in the relationship. So one of the best things I learned years ago is that like, for any relationship, business, platonic, romantic, whatever, you have to be always growing, because if you're not growing, that means you're stagnant. If you're stagnant, that means you're dying. So if you're dying, then neither one of you all are being productive or successful in what you do. So whatever you do, make sure that that person or those people are always speaking life into you, and that you are growing deeper in the connection, because then you're moving forward and propelling forward. So this is Jasmine Porter, and I'm going to pass the mic.
That was beautiful, Jasmine. You shared a lot, and especially when you talked about making sure that you set these roles, and people there's an understanding of the roles of people in your life. That's huge. There was a lot of relationships that ended because I put people in the wrong place in my life, and there were a lot of times that I was hurt because of that. But I had to look back and see what I had did and where I had placed them. So thank you for that. So we're going to go ahead and shift into I like to call the after party. And so Jasmine, wonderful. So Jasmine, I'm also going to I'm going to shift the mic back to you so I can close out over here on Facebook. But feel free, for those who are in the listening lounge and the VIPs, go ahead and feel free to come up on stage. And what we're sharing is we're sharing, like, what goal do you have set for 2022? And what tools do you plan on using to put yourself into action on these goals? And then if you want to comment on no, not even comment. If you need that support, or getting a support system or a support team, click on the Intentional Success Tribe. This has been the best support best support team outside of my close circle that I have been a part of, because they really do hold you accountable. And especially Deanna. Deanna will be in your inbox with some voice clips asking you like, hey, what you got going on? All right, so how we going to achieve that? Like all of that, right? So hit the Intentional Success Tribe, join the Facebook group, join the club, and join the collaboration. So Jasmine, let me go ahead and throw that over to you, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end everything here on Facebook.
All right, sounds good. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick recap.
All right,
So you are
Facebook.
tuned in.
Man, this has been a little crazy, right? Because it sounds like we're listening to Jasmine on the phone or whatever. But this is how we gonna have to do it for right now. Until we get her Wi-Fi connection has just not been the best where she is, but the show must go on and we're gonna make it work. Now, before I leave, I want to let you guys know I put out a book January 1st at 12 a.m. Okay, I put out a book. All right, so well, the pre-order of the book or the pre-sale. So I encourage you to highly go get it. The book is titled "You Are More Than a Mother: A Busy Mom's Guide to a Busy Mom's Guide to Uncovering Her Identity, Voice, and Self-Security." All right. So go ahead and get that. Right now it's 99 cents for the pre-order. But once it goes out, that book price will go up. So go ahead and jump on that. Thank you for joining us. I really highly encourage you to take the steps that we've put out today. And I will see you tomorrow as we continue to talk about our shift into 2022. Have an amazing day.